Welcome again to Church Around the Corner 2.0. And this is our question and answer time. My name is Eric, and you are?
I'm Mark.
Great. Well, there's been a number of questions that have come up that people have asked, and we thought we should address. First one is, doing Church Around the Corner sounds like it takes a lot more time than a regular church. And
Right.
What do we say to that?
Okay, that's a great question. So let's compare. That's a rough comparison, but for starters, say someone is doing traditional church seriously, relatively seriously. So we assume there's a weekly service. They're involved in a group of some sort that meets weekly. So let's compare the times for a month of doing sort of we call regular or traditional church with that of doing Church Around the Corner. Okay?
Right.
So that's going to
Okay,
be
so that's 4 times a month.
right.
For the sake of this discussion.
Okay. And so let's say this person going to a sort of regular church is a holy person, but not super holy.
No,
so
okay,
they don't make it to all of the things. But say 3 out of the 4 events. So 3 out of 4 services, 3 out of 4 group times. And so say the service time takes roughly an hour, and by the time they get there and back, 20 minutes each way and a little bit of chit chat, it's pretty close to 2 hours, could be a bit more. But so 3 out of 4 Sundays makes that 3 times 2 equals 6.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
And I've been helpful just to do math so people can follow along. So 3 times 2 equals 6.
6. Very good. You did well.
Continue.
So similarly, assume that their group time takes about an hour and a half, and travel time there and back is a bit less, maybe 15 minutes each way. Making roughly 2 hours for their group time. And then, of course, they only go 3 out of the 4 times in the month, so that is 3 times 2 equals
6.
We can reuse the same.
Yes, we can. There it is. 3 times 2 equals 6. But I think I can do the total here.
Eric.
And I've been working on the math. Is that 6 plus 6 actually equals 12 hours a month for a traditional church?
Right. Okay. Now let's do the Church Around the Corner way. Your house church, as we're suggesting, meets twice a month, and say it takes close to 3 hours each time. Right? You're having a meal together, and so that too it's a different, same answer but different. It's 2 times 3,
right.
twice a month, 3 hours.
2 times 3
equals 6.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the once a month time, the all together time, where all the groups get, say, takes 2.5 hours. So that's a total of 6 plus 2.5 equals 8.5 hours.
I have that one too.
In
case you're following along at home.
Okay.
6 plus 2.5 equals
8.5. Okay. So if we compare traditional sort of regular church time by a holy person, but not super holy, versus Church Around the Corner time, it's actually 3.5 hours less, or 30% less time to do it the Church Around the Corner way.
No, I have that, and just so you know, it's 3.5 hours less, or 30% less, and that those sorts of savings really appeal to my Scottish nature,
okay.
Mark. So I like it. So it takes less time, and then now there's other questions people have been asking. Question number 2 is: so are you saying Church Around the Corner is the best way of doing church, and everybody else is doing it wrong?
No, not at all. I think we all have to give ourselves permission to do what kind of works for us, what works best for us. And so I often say, when I talk about questions like this, there are sort of 2 conversions in our lives. The first one is the one that really never ends. That's the conversion, our continuing conversion to the gospel and its way of life. We, of course, begin that at some point. We believe or get baptized, etc. But that project of being converted totally and transformed completely, in a sense, goes on all the time. So that's the most important conversion, right? So that's the one we want to focus on.
All right, but you also said 2 conversions. Yeah. What's the second one?
Right. The second conversion is what I call is sort of almost the sociological conversion, if you will, to the way we get converted to a way of doing church, right? And that maybe comes from what we've experienced or heard about or whatever. And so there are many different ways to do church. And we're not saying that Church Around the Corner means that everyone else is wrong. Not at all. All we are saying is give peace. No, a chance. No. All we are saying is give the Church Around the Corner way of doing things a second look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're not interested in any sort of pointing fingers about who's right and who's wrong. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not interested in. So the last question is when you say church around the corner is light on its feet, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we
We're
do.
good dancers.
Yeah,
Maybe?
exactly.
Is that what
We
it
watch
means?
a lot of ballet.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of ways, just very simply, to think about being light on the feet. Being part of a house church is not this lifelong commitment. You might hear that word, and sometimes our group experiences this sense. Gosh, do we ever get out of this? Is this until death do us part? No, house churches are structured so that, ideally there's a yearly commitment time where we just very simply say, yeah, we're in for another season of house churching, or we're not. House churches can come into existence and go out of existence quite simply with way less effort, for example, than shutting down maybe a traditional church kind of setting. So we're light on our feet in that way, that the house churches come and go, it's kind of lightweight. The other sense is financially, and it has to do with dollars. We don't have the dollar commitment, and we're not interested in raising money to get a building and maintaining building, renting a facility, and then, of course, the staff time that gets taken with building related stuff. Of course, we're going to have a monthly rental cost when we have our all together time, but that is way, way less. And so that money saved can be directly put to other mission related activities. That's another way we're light on our feet in terms of our money. Yeah.
Great. Okay. That makes sense. You can view this and other things at our blog, churcharoundthecorner.blogspot.ca, and continue to ask questions. You can email us, and we'll try to give you some answers. So
Exactly.
until next time, thank you.